Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is your Akazaki Yahoo. And I start this broadcast as I start any broadcast by first of all giving all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, that is in the name of Yahushua Hamashiach, that is Yahushua the Messiah, who a lot of you may call JC, in ignorance, call him JC. But I give him, I give the Most High praise in the name of His Son, and also to the 12 tribes of Israel, uh, who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say Shalom Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together, and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High power, under one covenant. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yes, indeed. I'm joined this evening by my most esteemed Ak Kenaniah. Shalom, my king.
Hey, shalom, Mark. Shalom, shalom, Yasharal.
All praises to the Father. So we got a pretty good uh, setup for this evening. We're going to get right into the book of Numbers or Nibi Bar. I get it right out.
Bamidbar.
Bamidbar. Salika, Salika. Okay, my bad. Bamidbar. So we're going to get into the book of Bamidbar, and we are going to go through chapters 27 and Abba willing all the way to 29 or through 30, and
Okay.
that'll leave us the ability to finish it tomorrow, to finish the book of Numbers and put us on the path to Devarim next week. So all praise to the Father, and let's get right to it. All right, so this is the book of Numbers, chapter 27 and verse 1, the law of inheritance. All right, I remember this story, so this is some pretty good stuff. So let's
Hmm.
read. Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, the sons of Hefer, the son of uh, Gilead, the son of Mish Mishhar, the son of Manasseh, the family of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and these are the names of his daughters: uh, Milcah, did I say that right?
Mahala.
Mahala, Salakia, Mahala, Noah, uh, Haglan, Haglan,
Hagla.
Hagla. So my arc is real good on this, on breaking down these names. So we're gonna look at all of these. We also have and Milka and Tarzah, Tarzah. So let's go ahead and get. We got quite a few names in this first verse just to look at. So let's get to it here. Let's look at Zelophehad to start. Did we look at that before?
Uh,
I don't believe so.
nah, we didn't. Nah, no, we
Yeah, I
didn't.
think this might be the first time it shows up here. So, uh,
Tizlakad.
this is like I don't know where I got Zelophehad from, but that's what it looked like, right? Zelophehad
Yeah, yeah, and that's probably how it's pronounced as well. But that's we see that
transliteration.
TS a lot in Bantu words as well.
Yeah, Khan, yeah. So it's means the firstborn here. That's a bit son and half grandson. Yeah, so I just reiterated what we just read, and yeah, I remember he was significant because he had no daughter, no sons, and they were promised an inheritance. It's only used 11 times in the text. So,
Hmm.
all right, uh, let's check out his father, Heifer,
Kafer.
Hafer, all right, which means a well. All right, see if it was. Yep, it's the first time it's showing up as well. So let's see. Gilead, I think it seemed like we've seen that one before.
Uh huh.
Gilead, yeah. Rocky region. And Gilead is used 101 times.
Yeah,
Wow.
indeed. A lot of things transpired there in that city, in that
Yeah.
town.
All the way back to Bereshit,
Hmm.
31. That was a while back. We was in that 31 and then 37, and now here. So it's been a while since we've seen that. But I said, it seemed like I remember seeing that one before.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what uh
Makir.
Milker, Markier.
Makir.
I'm putting the L in there. No L. Solid.
Or sold.
Sold. Oh my goodness. I be
If you
doing
put an
that.
I in there, yeah, you put an I in there, did you?
I do that. I do that. I think it's this asterisk that threw me off. Right there that made me oh, solid. Like,
Right.
so yeah, yeah. Kind. Look, I was like, oh, I was about to like that name.
Right,
Solid.
right. Solid.
Right, right, yeah. So Manasseh, we see that one and
Mm-hmm.
continue. Causing to forget, can't forget, never forget King Manasseh, his
Cons.
doing that wickedness. But all through that, the Most High brought him back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh,
Makala.
Makala, disease. Yeah, I want to name my daughter that.
Uh,
Or son, or anybody else, Makala. Noah. We're gonna skip that one. Let's check out Hagla. That look
Hagala.
like I don't like that
Right, right. I've
right
noticed
there.
that as well.
Yeah, yeah, I don't
But
like that.
that's English for
Yeah,
that swine
right, right. Um,
partridge.
partridge, like a bird.
That's what I'm thinking.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, okay. Uh, and then
Milka.
oh, did we look at that? No, Milka
Milka.
Queen,
Yeah, we've seen that before. Haran's
wife of Nahor.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Khan. Yeah. Okay, okay. And then to Tarja or Taz
Tizar.
Tazar
Tizar.
Tazar Tazar. Favorable
Yeah, I know a sister named
Tazar
that
Tazar.
yeah, Tizar.
Khan. Look, yeah, Khan. It made me think. My mind went someplace completely. We'll talk about it probably tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, so verse 2. Uh, and they stood before Moshe and entered Eleazar, the priest, and before the priests, Slikah, before the princes and all the congregation by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, our father died in the wilderness, and he was not in the company of them that gathered themselves together against Yahuwah, in the company of Korah, but died in his own sin and had no sons. What should the name of our father be done, Slikah? Why should the name of our father be done away from among his family, because he have no sons? Give unto us therefore a possession among the brethren of our father. So they saying our father died and he wasn't a bad guy, so his name should continue. And obviously we're reading about it here in the script. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the time of Moshe. So we talking how many thousands of years? 'Cause How many?
Yeah.
How long before from Moshe to Hamashiach?
It's let's see, 14, 14, 14. So 28 plus no, I'm wrong actually, cause it's 14 from Mashiach to the return from Babylon, and then from the exile in Babylon to Dawid, it was 14. Then from Dawid to Moshe, I would say it's about 7, or somewhere around
Is
that.
that with the Moshe? From Moshe? Oh,
Yeah, from
Moshe.
Moshe to yeah, from Moshe to Dawid, I would say about 7, about halfway in between that 14 and 14.
Okay.
Cause yeah,
All right, let me get way to the side in case we need it because I was about to go to that Matthew, but I think you got it. So we good. We good on that. But I was just curious. So I'm just saying, all of these years later,
hmm
we looking at it right now. So
Yeah, Khan.
obviously his name was not put out of Israel. So you know, they made a valid point. And verse 5, it says, and Moshe brought the cause before Yahuwah, and Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, the daughters of Zelophehad speak right. You shall surely give them a possession for an inheritance among their father's brethren, and you shall cause the inheritance of their father to pass on to them. So what he was supposed to get goes to them.
All praises.
Yes, indeed. Hallelujah. Verse 8, and you shall speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a man die and have no sons, then you shall cause his inheritance to pass unto his daughter. And if he have no daughter, you shall give his inheritance unto his brethren. So if it don't go to his immediate seed, it goes to the one next to him.
Staying in the family.
Staying right in the family.
Hmm.
Verse 10. And if he have no brethren, he shall give his inheritance unto his father's brethren. So if he don't have a brother, it goes to his uncle,
Hmm.
his father's uncle, not his mother's uncle, his father's uncle,
Right. So
or
this
his
this
father's brother.
land,
I mean,
yeah. So this land would have stayed in the possession of Manasseh.
yeah, exactly. It would have stayed in that same heritage, and that's
Hmm.
uh, what he's showing us here. Verse 11. And if his father have no brethren, then he should be given his inheritance unto his kinsman that is next to him in his family, and he shall possess it. And it shall be unto the children of Israel a statute of judgment, as Yahuwah commanded Moshe. So he's telling us this is how it's done going forward. So the situation come up, this is how you deal with it.
Hmm.
Verse 12. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, get you up unto the mount uh, Arim, Arim,
Khan.
Abri,
Abrim.
ABA, Abrim.
Abrim.
Kind. I was trying to say it, I couldn't get it out.
Abarim. I messed it up too. Abarim.
Okay, I had I was like you initially. I was like Abrim,
Hmm.
ABARIM, Abrim, in the land in which I have gotten unto the children of Israel. So let's check that out with that Abrim. What we can find out about that real quick.
Abarim.
Kind.
Reem rather.
Reem. Oh yeah, kind Reem. Yeah, yeah. Re- religious beyond. Oh,
Regents
regions
beyond.
beyond. Regions beyond.
Hmm.
Look, I be yeah. It's been a long day for me. I be tripping for real. Forgive me. I don't mean anything by it. It's just the way my eyes work with my mouth sometimes. But yeah, this is the first time seeing this word, this location. But it's really not. Hold on, let me go back because it really didn't give us a mountain range east. Okay, so east of Jordan, in the land of Moab, opposite of Jericho,
Hmm.
Mount Nebo is part of is part of its range.
And I don't know why that Mount Nebo sounds familiar.
It does. I'm supposed to Google it because I don't know. I mean, it's got to if it's on that in that area. Boy, they be jacking like a mug. This Arkansas State Parks, they got something called
Right,
that
kind.
Mount
Right,
Nebo. Boy, these culture vulture.
right, right.
That is ridiculous. Um, I got tickets according to this. See the Holy Land. Okay, west of Jordan. So let's see if we can check out some images here, just for the sake of see the Holy Land.net. Man, they selling it. That's what happened when we get kicked out of our land. The
Yeah.
foreigners coming there and self viewing it.
I'm
That
so
is a
glad the
beautiful
Abba
sight.
has plans, past plans for us and this
Kind,
land.
kind. Look at this. And look at that. That is like magnificent.
Hmm.
that look like Aramaic. That ain't or Arabic. That's not that's not older. That's not paleo or modern. I think that's Arabic.
Hmm.
I know that ain't paleo,
Yeah,
and that ain't
nah.
modern script either. That block script. That's got to be and it's Jordan. Yeah, that's got to be um. Hold on. Is that Quran? Jericho this way. I can't see what that says. BBC travel. Okay. Just curious, so we can move on. Let me take a look at this thing. That looked like a
Looks pagan.
yeah, that thing that the Egyptians
On
was
the
dealing with, the Ankh,
yeah,
or whatever it's called.
well,
That's a beautiful sight right there. The natural mountains. All right, let's move on here. Okay, just curious. I always try to dig a little bit deeper if we can. So, all right, verse 13. And when you have seen it, you shall. Mm, Salika. And when you have seen it, you also shall be gathered unto your people. And Aaron, your brother, was gathered. As Aaron, your brother was gathered. Look, I'm thinking I was at the wrong thing, but no, this is right. 'Cause, I read that, and yes, we read those. Okay. So Joshua to succeed Moshe. So we halfway through 27 here. It says, and Moshe spake unto Yahuwah, saying, let Yahuwah, uh, the power of the spirit of all flesh, set a man over the congregation. He didn't say set a person or a woman. He said set a man over the
God.
congregation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's right back to the order. It's got things have got to be in order, which means the men have to be men and they have to take their rightful place. Verse 17, which may go out before them, and which may go in before them, and which may lead them out, and which may bring them in, that the congregation of Yahuwah be not as sheep which have no shepherd. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, take you Joshua, the son of Nun, the man of whom is the Ruach, and lay thy hands upon him. Oh boy, I can imagine Joshua in that position. Like, lay your hands on him. Like, what? Yahuwah said, lay your hands on me?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Verse 19, and set him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation, and give him charge in their sight. And you shall put some of your Salika, and you shall put some of your honor upon him, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may be obedient. And he shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall ask counsel of him after the judgment of Urim,
Yeah. God.
Urim before the Urim before Yahuwah. At his word shall they go out, and at his word shall they come in, both he and the children of Israel with him, even all the congregation. And Moshe did as Yahuwah commanded him, and and he took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation, and laid his hands upon him and gave him charge as Yahuwah commanded by the hand of Moshe. All praises. So
All
let's,
praises.
let's go to 28. So that's pretty interesting, but I don't think did we they didn't really finish that because it told them who they should marry, the daughters of Zelophehad.
Well, they weren't they supposed to marry men from Manasseh?
Okay, is it
I
is
I remember that story as well,
right? Did we
and
read that though?
nah, we didn't.
I
It
didn't think we
wasn't
did.
there.
I didn't think we did. That's why I said I don't remember that part of it. And then we went to Joshua, but maybe it's gonna come back up. So it may have been a different chapter. So let's just keep going here. Laws of offering. So as of the last chapter, he did go ahead and promise them that inheritance and set that as a statute. So he was establishing that. So
Hmm.
by two or three witnesses, let every matter be established. So
Indeed.
I'm sure he'll be back. We'll be back to that. Uh, the book of Numbers, chapter 28 and verse 1. And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, command the children of Israel, and say unto them, my offering and my bread for my sacrifices made by fire, for a sweet savor unto me shall you observe to offer to me in their due seasons. And you shall say unto them, this is the offering made by fire, which you shall offer unto Yahuwah, 2 lambs of the first year without spot, day by day, for a continual burnt offering. He said he wants 2 lambs day by day without spot
Hmm.
for a continual. Verse 4, the one lamb shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb shall offer in the evening, and the tenth part of an ephod of flour for a meat offering, mingled with the fourth part of a hin of beaten oil. It is a continual burnt offering, which was ordained in Mount Sinai for a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto Yahuwah. And the drink offering thereof shall be a fourth part of a hin for the one lamb, and the set apart place shall you cause the strong wine. So you cause the strong wine to be poured unto Yahuwah for a drink offering. So he didn't say strong drink, he said strong wine.
Hmm.
Let's see what that's I don't know if we've seen that one before. I don't remember strong wine before. Let's see what that says.
Shekon.
Shaikan. All right. Strong drink, intoxicating drink, fermented, and intoxicating liquor. Or an intoxicating liquor. Yeah, I don't think I remember seeing strong wine. Intense alcoholic liquor, strong drink, drunkard, strong wine. What's that word again? Shake,
Shekon.
shakon,
Oh, you know what? I'm putting a N on it, and it's a R. Shekar.
shakar, shakar. Okay, khan, shakar. Huh, that's interesting. Yeah, I think well, that was in Leviticus 10. I
Hmm.
wonder what the word was there. Let's see. Let's take a look at that real quick. Leviticus 10. It's just strong drink. But that's my first time seeing it referred to as strong wine.
Hmm.
Okay, so strong drink makes sense. Oh, yeah, yeah. This is the first time it was referred to as strong wine. So, okay, kind, kind. Just checking on that. Let's move on
Hmm.
here. And first sacrifice made by fire.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think we're ready for verse 8.
is 8. Okay, kind, kind. I
Hmm.
thought I had lost myself. All right. It says, and their lambs shall you offer at evening, at even, as a meat offering of the morning, and as a drink offering thereof, you shall offer it, a sacrifice made by fire for a sweet savor unto Yahuwah. And on the Sabbath day, 2 lambs of the first year without spot, two tenth deal of flour for a meat offering, mingled with oil, and a drink offering thereof. Thus is the burnt offering of every Sabbath, besides the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And in the beginning of the month, in the beginnings of your months, you shall offer a burnt offering unto Yahuwah, 2 young bullocks and 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without spot, and three tenth deals of flour for a meat offering mingled with oil for 1 bullock, and 2 tenth deals of flour for a meat offering mingled with oil for 1 ram, and the seventh slicker, and the s- and a several tenth deal of flour mingled with oil for a meat offering unto 1 lamb for a burnt offering of a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto Yahuwah. And their drink offering shall be an half of an hin of wine unto the bullock, and the third part of a hin unto a ram, and the fourth part of a hin unto a lamb. This is the burnt offering of every month throughout the months of the year. And 1 kid of the goat for a sin offering unto Yahuwah shall be offered besides a continued burnt offering and his drink offering. And the 14th day of the first month is the Passover of Yahuwah. I didn't realize he reiterated that here.
Now, I didn't think we would see it again until Devarim or
Con,
Deuteronomy.
yeah, yeah. I didn't. I really didn't think we was getting into it right here. But when, okay, so we had 17. What did it say at the beginning? Laws and offering.
Hmm. Okay, come.
Yeah. I mean that didn't. I didn't. Still wouldn't think that would be here. I mean, we were going toward the feast here.
Right.
So verse 17. And the 15th day of the month is the feast. 7 days you shall eat bread. Salika, 7 days shall unleavened bread be eaten. And the first day shall be a set of a kodesh convocation. You shall do no manner of servile work therein, but you shall offer a sacrifice made by fire for a burnt offering unto Yahuwah, 2 young bullocks, and 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3 tenths part, so they got 3 tenths deals shall you offer for a bullock, and 2 tenths deals for a ram. This a, is that several? Am I reading that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Do you have that the Hallelujah scripts pulled
yeah.
up?
Let's take a look
You
at
know,
that.
I'm wondering, is it something different in there,
28,
man? Because it
21.
doesn't flow to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I'm like, is that even right? 28, 21. All right, let's see, 21 right here. Um, prepare 1 tenth of an ephod, each of the each of 7 lambs. So it's saying 1 tenth of an ephod, but here it says
Several. Hmm.
a several tenth. Hmm, that's interesting. Prepare 1 tenth. Okay, okay. Well, it's all good. That's all good. We'll move on. Uh, and 1 goat for a sin offering to make an atonement for you. You shall offer these beside the burnt offering in the morning, which is a continual burnt offering. After this manner, you shall offer daily throughout the 7 days, the meat of the sacrifice by fire, the meat of the sacrifice made by fire, of the sweet savor unto Yahuwah. It shall be offered beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. Here it is again, 25. No, it's not. That's not the same. My bad, Slicker. And on the seventh day, you shall have a Kodesh convocation. You shall do no servile work therein. See, yeah, it's referring us back to Leviticus here, 23.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, back to the feast. Uh, 26, verse 26. Also in the day of Also in the day of first fruits, you shall bring new meat offering. You shall bring a new meat offering unto Yahuwah after your weeks. After your weeks be out, you shall have a Kodesh convocation. You shall do no servile work therein. No
And
servile
that's
work.
Shavuot.
Shavuot's kind. Yeah, that's after the weeks.
Mm-hmm.
After your weeks. Yeah. So Shavuot. Hallelujah. Uh, Speaking of, I got to get that shofar ordered because Trumpets is coming up. And
Indeed.
yes,
I
indeed.
want to say we got what 6 weeks or 5 weeks.
Okay, that's plenty of time. When I order it, I have it like the next week. So
Yeah, con.
yeah, that'll go smooth. So it'll take them getting this from Amazon. Sorry to the Akeem that do it, but I found it on Amazon for a lot less. Sorry.
Con.
All right,
Yeah, I
verse
was in the
27.
same boat.
Right, Con. Hey, if I had 400 to drop on a horn, I would, but you know, captivity. Wait till we
Yeah,
in
con.
rulership, and then we can talk about
Indeed.
it. Verse 27. But you shall offer a burnt offering for a sweet savor unto Yahuwah, 2 young bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lamb of the first year, and their meat offering of mingled flour with oil, 3 tenths deal unto 1 bullock, 2 tenths deal unto 1 ram, and several tenths deal unto 1 lamb, throughout the several lambs, and 1 kid of the goat to make an atonement for you. You shall offer them besides the continual burnt offering and meat offering. They shall be unto you without blemish, and their drink offering. So apparently, we won't be doing these type of offerings with the new priesthood that's coming, the
Nah,
order of Melchizedek.
but it's funny that you even mentioned that out
Hmm.
because we know that we still do offer spiritual sacrifices.
Yeah,
And what is that? A spiritual sacrifice is righteousness.
right,
It's
exactly,
being obedient. It's
exactly.
it's keeping the law, keeping the commandments.
Kind,
This is a spiritual sacrifice. Taking care of one of your brothers in need
right.
is a spiritual sacrifice. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
these are things that we are, and to be honest with you, some days, because he says this is continual.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So uh, one day might go by where I'm not being mindful to I'm always trying to walk in righteousness and
Right.
and
Kind,
and but am I bringing these continual spiritual offerings? You know what I mean?
kind.
That's what I was mindful of while we were reading that.
Yeah, yeah. I like that you brought that out because this was a day in and day out, and so he talked about 2 lambs or 2 rams, two. Uh, let's go back and look at it real quick. 2 lambs, 2 rams. Especially that last point. I mean, he hit that about 2 or 3 times. Uh, Mingled with oil, 2 tenths dart. Okay, so 1 bullock, 2 tenths deal, and one unto 1 ram. So a bullock and a ram, uh, a lamb throughout 7 lambs, a kid of the goat for an atonement, and a continued burnt offering. You shall offer them besides the continued burnt offering and his meat offering. So that's not even continue. That's well, the meat offering would have been the what is it, 2/10 deal of flour mingled with
Mm-hmm.
oil,
Mm-hmm.
which is that gravy? I mean, is that how you make gravy?
We had talked about that before, but yeah, that is indeed what that's gonna make.
Yeah, yeah, kind. So, you know,
Some type of what do you call it? A brew, not a brew, but a I
uh,
forget what the cooks call it.
yeah, I know you're talking about that. It's the broth.
Broth. Yeah,
Yeah,
con.
yeah, yeah. Yes, indeed. Well, yeah, yeah. Let's go ahead and wrap this on up. Like we got 29 and 30 uh, offers of the seventh month. You want to go ahead and pick this one up?
Indeed.
I appreciate you.
This is the book of Bamidbar, Numbers, chapter 29, verse 1. And in the seventh month, on the first day of the month, ye shall have a set apart convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing shofars unto you. And ye shall offer a burnt offering for a sweet savor unto Yahweh. One young bullock, one ram, and 7 lambs of the first year without blemish. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deal for a bullock, and 2/10 deal for a ram, and 1/10 deal for one lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and one kid of the goats for a sin offering to make an atonement for you, besides the burnt offering of the month, and his meat offering, and the daily burnt offering, and his meat offering, and their drink offerings, according unto their manner, for a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto Yahweh. Verse 7. And ye shall have on the 10th day of this seventh month a set apart convocation, and ye shall afflict your souls. Ye shall not do any work therein, but ye shall offer a burnt offering unto Yahweh for a sweet savor, one young bullock, one ram, and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish.
Without
You know,
blemish. Hmm.
pausing right there, Art.
Right, kind.
Uh,
We had the same
this is
thought, I believe.
okay, yeah, probably so. But we had spoke about how I know when I first came into this walk, 3-4 years ago,
Hmm.
my day of atonement was spent fasting,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So, but here we're talking about a sacrifice
Hmm.
of meat offerings,
Kind.
and we had read previously who those meat offerings went to.
Hmm.
These priests are eating these sacrifices.
Right, right.
So, would it be fair to say that fasting is one way that you can afflict yourself, but that
Hmm.
wasn't the commandment?
I wasn't to command his fast, but yeah, definitely to afflict yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, you know, it, I mean, the priest certainly wasn't fasting.
Yeah,
They was
kind.
uh, they was feasting.
Yeah.
So they was bringing all of this. Is this per person on these offerings? Is this like your
That's a
house
good
bringing
question.
this, or is it? Because I'm not clear on that. And of course, like you said, it's not something that we'll be doing going forward. And there's really no way to find out if that's how they did it back then. I mean, did your village bring this offering to the priest? Did you scrounge that up to, or did you work that up together and take it as this is for us, or if this was per person or per house? I mean, even if it was just per house, that's
Mm-hmm.
still a
That's
lot
it's
of
quite a bit.
sacrifice. You know,
That's a lot.
them priests would have been full like a,
Yeah.
they would have been so full. So that's interesting. It's interesting. So, but yeah, we just read the Day of Atonement right there. But you know, yeah, you flick your soul. I mean, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe when we look at this afflict, it meant to be humble, right?
I believe we looked at that before, and it was to be humble. Yep. To
Con,
be lowly.
right. Verb. Yep, it's a verb. Action. To be occupied. To be busy with. To afflict. Oppress. Humble. Be afflicted. Be bowed down. Yeah, I remember us looking at that before. To humble oneself, bow down. Yeah, so I mean, just to put yourself at that at that capacity to, you know. So
It's not a normal day, you know.
no, no, definitely not. And it's not. And and here's the thing: fasting may get some people there. Fasting
Mhm.
may not get somebody else there. One day
It's
of
gone.
fasting for me would not. I fast daily almost.
Mhm.
I do intermittent, which I eat once a day, but for me to skip a day of eating, that's not really afflicting myself. I'm used to doing that. Now, for somebody else, they may get faint and pass
Mhm.
out even. But for me, I'm not. That's not me trying to brag. I mean, that's just how I'm training
It's
my
it's
body. So
it's honesty, you know.
yeah,
That's what it
yeah.
is. Like.
So I would need to do more than just a day of fast for the Day of Atonement. I need to do some genuine. I need to put some dirt on my head or put some.
Mhm.
I don't know. I gotta to really afflict myself. I gotta really put myself in a humble place,
Mhm.
and that's what it's about. You know. So maybe just sitting on the floor and just thinking about all the times I messed up in that year, and how I could have did things better and why I shouldn't, or maybe even writing it out. That would be a good way to
Mhm.
afflict myself. So we have to take a good long look at this Day of Atonement. That's I've heard people say this is the most set apart day of the year,
Mhm.
and it's definitely important. That we walk circumspect when it comes to this. So um, and approach it with as much humility as possible. And I didn't even expect it to be in here, but he's going over all the feasts, last
Mhm.
chapter and this chapter. So all praises to the Abba. So
Gone.
obviously
Hallelujah.
this conversation was needed.
Mhm.
Yes, indeed.
Did we get verse 11?
Uh, did we? Oh no, no. Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah. You read that.
oh,
Atonement for continue. Oh, I mean, you can read it again. It wasn't hurt then.
okay, con. One kid of the goats for a sin offering, besides the sin offering of atonement, and the continual burnt offering, and the meat offering of it, and their drink offerings. Verse 12. And on the 15th day of the 7th month, ye shall have a set apart convocation. Ye shall do no servile work, and ye shall keep a feast unto Yahweh 7 days.
Hmm.
And ye shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire, of a sweet savor unto Yahweh, 13 young bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year. They shall be without blemish. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals unto every bullock of the 13 bullocks, 2/10 deal to each ram of the 2 rams, and a several tenth deal to each lamb of the 14 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 2nd day ye shall offer 12 young bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without spot, and their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, and the meat offering thereof, and their drink offerings. And on the 3rd day 11 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 4th day 10 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 5th day 9 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without spot, and their meat offerings and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner, and 1 goat for a sin offering besides the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 6th day, 8 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their meat offerings, and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner, and 1 goat for a sin offering besides the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 7th day, 7 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their meat offering, and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner, and 1 goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. On the 8th day ye shall have a solemn assembly, ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire, of a sweet savor unto Yahweh, 1 bullock, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without blemish, their meat offerings and their drink offerings for the bullock, for the ram, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner, and 1 goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering, and his drink offering. These things ye shall do unto Yahweh in your set feasts, besides your vows, and your free will offerings, for your burnt offerings, and for your meat offerings, and for your drink offerings, and for your peace offerings. And Moshe told the children of Israel according to all that Yahweh commanded Moshe. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Okay, so while we were reading that, while you was reading that, it sank into me while we were going into the feast, because he was giving them a command on the day by day offering. So he had
Okay,
to include
con.
those feasts in there
Mm-hmm.
because through the days, which is why we went through tabernacles all 8 days. And
Mm-hmm.
he said this is what, so the numbers should change, but they had to keep up with that. So the priest, Eleazar, the priest, son of Aharon, who would become the high priest, he had to be the one, to make sure that this thing went the way it's supposed to go. So
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Con.
Yeah, it didn't dawn on me till you was reading that about halfway through. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Nah, con.
Yes, indeed.
Right on target, out.
Praise
Yep.
God. Hallelujah. Yes, indeed.
All right.
First chapter
This
30, and we'll wrap it up here.
con. This is the book of Bamidbar, Numbers, chapter 30, the law of vows. And Moshe spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which Yahweh hath commanded. If a man vow a vow unto Yahweh, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. If a woman also vow a vow unto Yahweh, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand,
Mm,
and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. But
God.
it gone.
So yeah, so she said even in her youth, even in her, but this is not like when us being youth, because this is a righteous people who was growing up in a land where everybody was righteous, supposed to be righteous, or
Mm-hmm.
supposed to have some understanding of righteousness. So it wouldn't be like, you know, I probably said something stupid when I was a kid, and you know, I hope Abba would forgive me for if I did. I don't recall anything, but if I did say something that I didn't have any business saying and made it into some kind of a promise or vow, and I didn't keep it. If you bring it to the mountain, I'll do it. But if it's something I'm capable of doing, but this wasn't that type of situation. This was a different situation where you knew better as a child, and so that's why your father could get you out of it if he knew, at the time that he found out. But if he found out and didn't say anything, like, no, you're not doing that, then you on the hook for it.
Okay. Now,
So,
what's that Hebrew word for vow, and what exactly does that mean?
okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look. It's like swearing or
Mm-hmm.
neder.
Nader.
Neder, yes, indeed. Vow, voting,
Votive.
voting,
Votive offering.
votive offer. What the heck is votive?
I'm not sure.
Let's see what that
Okay,
says.
but yeah, it says I see there in the definitions a promise to the
Okay,
Most High.
taking the promise. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at that just real quick. I know we only got a couple of a few more in this particular chapter, and
Come.
this is it. But votive, offering of consecrated and fulfilling of a vow.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Votive. I didn't. I never heard that word.
Yeah, me neither. And I
Votive.
know I've read this before and probably just read over it. You know.
Interesting. Well, yeah, going into it and see, because I've never votive offer. I never heard that. I've never heard that. That's interesting. That's real interesting. So, but yeah, I was familiar with this particular law. That her father. Uh, but it don't say anything about a young man. So if my children are, I have 9-year-old boys, a set of 9-year-old boys, and if they say something outlandish, to the Most High, or to, they on the hook for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so hopefully they don't do anything crazy like that. You can't be. That's the thing. Even if you're a excellent parent, you cannot be right with your children are listening to everything that they're saying, and then you find out about it. But if your son say, you know, if the Most High give me $1 million, I give it all to the priest or to the church or whatever, and then you mess around and get that money and don't do it. Ooh, that's a rough place. That's a rough place. So it don't have to be that extreme. It could be something simpler than that. But you know, he said when you do this, don't not pay it, and he was giving us the exception. So let's
And you
continue
know, I
here.
wonder. I
Go ahead.
wonder. Are we gonna read about? I wonder. Are we gonna read about a punishment for not keeping our vows in this chapter?
That is interesting. Yeah, I'd be interested to see. If not this chapter, I wonder if we'll get 1 and 31 when
Hmm.
we look at it tomorrow. But that'll be interesting to see. All right, let's continue here.
Con. Verse
Yeah.
5.
Or,
But if
or,
her father, oh, did I? Okay, I thought
yeah,
I'd
4.
read 4.
Oh,
All
did you?
right, yeah,
Oh, maybe you
con.
did. Maybe you did. Slick out,
Yep.
slick out. Let's continue. My bad. Go ahead.
But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul, shall stand, and Yahweh shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her.
So you see, he has the ability to
Mm-hmm.
take that back. You know what I'm saying? He
Mm-hmm.
has the ability to turn that off. So if she say, the first boy who, you know, say hi to me, at 2:58 on the Sabbath day, I'm gonna marry him. And Daddy hear that and be like, "No, you're not."
Mm-hmm.
You
Come.
know, eh, eh, well, she wouldn't say it like that. She'd have to swear to you who promise to the Most High, something like that. Then and her daddy hear about it. Like she says she's got to marry Jim because she made a vow. Like, no, she don't.
Right.
This is my first time hearing of it. I disallow that.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine
Uh,
if father's not, father never hear about it. She on the hook for it until he find out, or if he's gone, if he's passed away, she's on the hook for it.
it come.
Yeah,
Check this out.
yeah.
Verse 6.
Uh,
And if she had at all an husband
mhm,
when she vowed or uttered out of her lips,
mhm,
wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
mhm,
But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it,
mhm,
then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect, and Yahweh shall forgive her.
mhm. And see, he's forgiven her for these things. So if it happened with her father, and say her father passes away, and he never heard it. So then, if it comes to a place where, okay, I got to do this because when I was 6 or when I was 7, I swore to you to the Most High that I would do this, and her husband be like, "No, you're not doing
Hmm.
that." He can he can disallow it, but he got to ask. A righteous husband got to ask, "Did you talk to your father about this? Did your father know about
Hmm.
this?" And she say, "No, I never told him. I disallow it," and Yahuwah gonna forgive her for it.
And he's got to disallow it that day that he hears it.
The day that he
You know.
hears it, yeah, yeah. Even if it's so many years later, a later part of her life. Uh, you know, it's interesting. I mean, that's interesting. But I find it ironic that he only put that provision in here for women. So that tells us that there has to be, what I'm saying, that women would deal more from an emotional standpoint. I mean, that's got to be what it
Hmm.
is. That's got to
Yeah.
be where a 6-year-old boy and a 6-year-old girl, if he vow his vow, he stuck to it.
Yeah.
But if she
Man
vow
up.
her
You know.
vow, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
The Abba has different expectations for man and women. You
kind,
know.
yes,
I mean,
indeed,
his expectations for us to all be righteous, but
absolutely,
it's definitely it places a significant role on a father and a husband.
right,
You
exactly,
know.
exactly, and it makes no way out for a male because this is for a daughter.
Hmm.
If her father here or her husband, and the day he hear it, he can disallow it. But there's no provision for and it said a girl in her youth.
Hmm.
It doesn't say a male in his youth.
You come.
So yes, indeed.
Yeah. Verse 9.
Hmm.
But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their souls, shall stand against her.
Mm, wow, that is a cut.
Hmm.
That is a cut. So there's no way out for her. If she's a widow or if she's divorced, and right there, who said that word right there, that divorce word, is not. Let's take a look at that real quick. Who said that that's not? He got provision in the garage.
Gosh.
Drive out, expel, drive away, divorce. See, I don't like how they do this. Divorce and put away in the same. That's not what it is.
Right.
But I
Because
bet
there's a difference between being put away and
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 divorce.
divorced.
Exactly. Exactly. Because being put away, you still married. When you
Hmm.
divorce, you're not married. That is over with. And she can't. If she's put away, he's still her husband. So if he hears
Right.
about it, guess what? He can
He
disallow
can.
it, even if
Indeed.
it's sometime later.
Bingo. What?
Yeah, kind. So it doesn't make sense for them to put that like that, divorced and put away in the same definition like that. That's not authentic. So
Where we at?
Yeah, with 10.
Okay, con.
Stole
And if
this.
she vowed in her husband's, verse 10,
Con.
and if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it. Oh, Slacky, I think we did read that, didn't we?
Uh.
The
Really?
last verse that we read was every vow of a widow. Or okay, so
Right.
that was verse
Yeah,
9.
that was not.
So
Yeah.
okay, so yeah, you're right. All
So
right.
we're in the right spot. Yeah, yeah. Con.
Yep. And her husband heard it and held his peace at her and disallowed her not. Then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. So,
Yeah. So if
so
he catch it and he don't do anything, or he don't say nope, you're not doing that, or I'm disallowing that, then she on the hook for it. So if
okay.
she say, example. So this is an example. If she say, if Yahuwah Barak this family with uh 10 children, I'm gonna give 3 of them to people who can't have children,
Hmm.
and swear that to the Most High. Then her husband hear that, and he like, nope, no, you're not. We're not doing that. Then that's over. She not on the hook for that. But
Hmm.
if she does that and he hear it and don't say nothing, guess what? They had 10 children. 3 of them got to go to the people who can't have children because she made that vow. And if she don't pay, I don't know if we're gonna get into that here or we'll see that later on. But if you don't pay, is a penalty with interest,
Okay.
and it's not nice.
Okay. All
Right.
right. Verse 12. But if her husband hath utterly made them void on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceedeth out of her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the bond of her soul, shall not stand, and Salakia, her husband hath made them void, and Yahweh shall forgive her. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. But if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from the day to day, then he establishes all her vows, or all her bonds which are upon her. He confirmeth them, because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them. But if he shall in any ways make them void after that he hath heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity.
Mm.
Mm.
If he make them void after he had heard them,
Yeah, so like I believe
if he shall anyway make them void after that he had, oh, hold on, slick
so
guy, hold
like
on.
after so like let's say he heard it on second day,
Hmm.
and then he doesn't make them void until like fourth day. That's
Oh
on
yeah,
him.
yeah, that's on him. Okay, kind. So yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, but I thought that we was reading it different. Yeah, I thought it was reading different. That's why I said let me read 14 again, because to put this all together. But if her husband altogether holds his peace uh, from day to day, then he establishes her vows or all of her bonds which are upon her. He confirmed them because he held his peace at her in the day that in the day that he heard them.
Hmm.
But if he shall in any way make them void after that he heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. So it's on him. If he come back, like that example I gave, if he found out that she said that today and tomorrow he say, you know what? Remember you said yesterday that you was gonna do that? You're not doing that.
Hmm.
Now it's iniquity. Now
Hmm.
you done you had a chance to say something at the time and you didn't say nothing, so you confirmed it. But uh, you do it the next day or days after, it's on you. That's on him, I should say,
Yeah, con.
because understand now, the man is supposed to be the head, and so he's supposed to have rulership over the woman. So he heard that this is a vow that she made. If he don't disallow it on that day, after that, it becomes iniquity to him. So that
Hmm.
makes sense. That I had to go back and look at that to understand it. Because initially it looked like if he disallowed it, then it would be on him. Because
Right,
we
but
never
nah.
saw we saw that she would be forgiven, but we didn't see anything about the husband being forgiven
Hmm.
or the father being forgiven. But he has the right to do that. So interesting.
Con. All right. Last verse, verse
Yeah,
16. These are the statutes which Yahweh commanded Moshe between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house. Hallelujah.
praise God indeed. That is so very interesting. Again, that we're dealing with it. Salika. Uh, we got some comments on here, and okay, add Isaiah 58 to that affliction. Okay, let's take a look at Isaiah 58 real quick and see what we get there. We were talking about see, I don't run two screens, and that's on my fault. So uh, observance of fast, lift up the voice like a trumpet. I'm familiar with that. Let's see how long this is. Oh, this is 14. Let's read this real quick and see what we can get out of here for a fiction. And told to Akoti,
Yeah, I want to say Isaiah 58 is dealing with the fast that the Abba has required.
oh, okay,
I believe that's the verse
observance of
or that's the
fast.
chapter.
Okay, well, let's take a quick look here. Uh, this is Isaiah chapter 58, verse 1. Cry aloud and spare not. Lift up your voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgression, the house of Jacob, their sins. Yet they seek me daily and delight to know my ways. As a nation, they did righteousness and forsook not the ordinance of their power. They ask of me the ordinance of justice. They take delight in approaching the Most High. Wherefore they have fasted, say they, and you seek not. Wherefore have we afflicted our souls, and you taken no knowledge? Behold, in the day of your fast, you find pleasure in extracting all your labors, in exacting all your labors. Salika. Verse 4. Behold, you fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. You shall not fast as you do this day to make your voice go be heard on high. Is this such a fast I have chosen? A day of a man that afflicts his soul? Is it to bow down your head as a bulrush and uh, to spread sackcloth and ashes under him? Uh, would you call this a fast and an uh, accepted day of Yahuwah? You follow what he saying? Because
Yeah,
to me
yeah,
he's like,
con.
you're not putting you're not doing the work. You just trying to basically you're just trying to take the easy way out.
Hmm.
You're doing all this other stuff, and then you just making it like a you know
Going
like
through the motions, you
right,
know.
like hit a lamb. Yeah, I did the sin, hit a lamb, no big deal. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, that's not what it's about. Verse 6, it's not a fast that I have chosen to loose the bands of wickedness,
Mm-hmm.
to undo the heavy burdens, to let the oppressed go free, that you break every yoke. Is it not is it not to deal your bread to the hungry? Slick, I hit that button accidentally and muted myself. Um, verse 7, is it not to deal your bread to the hungry, that you may bring the poor that are cast out of the house, out of your house? When you seek, when you seeth the naked, and you cover him, that you hide not yourself from your own flesh. You hide not yourself from your own flesh. Yeah. Verse 8, and you shall break forth in the morning, and thy health shall spring forth speedily, and your righteousness shall go before you. And let me see, the esteem of Yahuwah shall be your reward, your reward. You see that? Is that right? Reward.
Reward. Con.
Oh, I was like, am I tripping? Am I seeing double? All right. Uh, then shall you call on Yahuwah. Then shall you call, and Yahuwah shall answer. You shall cry, and he shall say, here I am. If you take away from the midst of you the yoke, and put forth the finger, and speaking vanities,
Mm-hmm.
and if you draw out of the soul of the hungry, and satisfy the afflicted soul, then shall your light raise in obscurity, and your darkness be as the noonday. And Yahuwah shall guide you continually, and sanctify your soul in drought, and make fat your bones, and you shall be like the water garden in the spring of the water, whose water fail not. Kind. So I think that's what she was trying to point us to here.
Indeed, indeed.
So yeah, that was definitely a good um, idea here. Let's see what she says. Okay, she said for Day of Atonement. So yeah, that's definitely. She says she loves chapter 30 in Numbers, forgiveness. All praises to the Most High. Um, that chapter covers virgin, married, and widows.
Mm-hmm.
He holds men to their word and keeps his word. Yeah, so that's what she was in agreement with what I was reading there. He
Mm-hmm.
holds the men to their word and and keeps his word. It shows the covering over a woman. So yeah, absolutely. She said verse 13 is deep. It says the vows she afflicts her soul. Yeah, and that's with anybody who afflicts their souls with the vow. But the woman has a way of an exit where, yeah, like you said, the men do not. A man does not have any way of exiting. And she said, affliction with the Day of Atonement. Okay, she wrote a long comment here on this last one here. She said she was starting. Oh, she was stating that Isaiah 58 6 through 8. So she just really wanted 6 through 8, but I read through a little bit more, but
Mm-hmm.
kind of, I got exactly what you were saying. So
Yeah,
told her
definitely a
for
good pull. Good pull.
absolutely, absolutely. Told her for that insight. That was a barakah for us to help us understand. So uh, with that, all praises to the Abba, and I feel like I should put a link in the chat and let you come on in here. But it's all good. We'll go ahead and go into final thoughts, and you can bring your look. Let me get a link. Nah, we'll go ahead and end it. We'll go ahead and end it. Go ahead. We'll go ahead with final thoughts here, and we'll go ahead and finish it on up. Uh, so I mean, we covered some pretty good information in these chapters, starting with chapter 27. Let me back up real quick here. Oh, no, it was chapter 27. Where did we start?
Yeah, that's where we started
Yeah,
out.
it's 27. Okay,
27.
I'm tripping. Okay, okay. Yeah, so starting with 27, we started with the daughters of Zelophehad and
Hmm.
found out that that inheritance does indeed go to the daughters or stays within the family. So that was good information. Also establishing the leadership of the nation and how he would desire or how he wants a man in charge. So that was good edification. Uh, we go into chapter 28 and we get the law of offering, and basically he was telling us how to do those offerings. And again, those, well, as I understand it, at this point in time, those won't be going forward with the order of Melchizedek. So uh, that won't be something that we'll be dealing much with. Also, we continue with the offerings in chapter 29, and then of course in chapter 30, we learned about the vows and how the Most High deals with those vows. So all good information. This was a pretty uh, you know full, impactful lesson. A lot of good information. So uh, I'm thankful to the Abba, to get to it. I know that there's a place where the daughters of Zelophehad, where because basically it's going to tell them that they have to stay within their tribe, so that that inheritance doesn't move from tribe to tribe. So they have to marry in that tribe. They can't go outside the tribe to marry. So um, we didn't cover that up to chapter 30, but maybe in these last six chapters. Albert willing, we're gonna go ahead and knock out these six chapters tomorrow,
Hmm.
and next week we'll begin Devarim. So that'll be a great barakah to get into the last book of the Torah, and we would have finished the Torah. And I think we'll be able to get that done in about a month and a half. So probably the next 6 weeks or sooner, we'll be able to get that done. So, but I'm
Con.
thankful to the Most High, for this journey. And I have, to this point, I have not read the entire book of the Torah, and now I'm one book away. So all praises to
All
the
praises.
Father. Yes, indeed.
Con.
Yes, indeed. Go ahead.
You you know uh you know looking at chapter 27, man. It's definitely you know it's interesting.
Hmm.
It's also kind of I'll say it. It's sad because it's also a blessing because
Hmm.
and the reason I get that the Abba has told Moshe who he chose to lead his children out of Mizraim.
Hmm.
He's told him that you're getting ready to be gathered to your people. You're getting ready, well, not gathered to your people, but you're getting ready to uh, die the way that
Right.
Aharon died.
Okay.
But before you do so, you'll be able to see the land that I have promised to your ancestors, to 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 Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob.
Hmm.
But you're not gonna be able to get there because you rebelled against me.
Right.
A lot of times uh, we get the idea that it's about us,
Hmm.
right?
Exactly.
And that couldn't be further from the truth, man. It's not
Right.
about us.
It's not.
The Most High could have raised up anybody he wanted to, and the show's gonna continue. His show is gonna continue, you know,
Yes, indeed.
and we all have roles and purposes in it. And we see the succession of Moshe going to Joshua
Hmm.
at this point, and Joshua has a job to do, you know, and
Okay.
we just all gotta strive for obedience, man. Strive
Praise
for
Yah.
obedience, you know.
Praise Yah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Is that's a great point, Ark. And I didn't really think about it how sad it was that Moshe was not going to go forward, but it is a sad ordeal considering all the work that he did do,
Hmm.
and he had to get basically bounced out,
Yeah.
and
But I think about the love that the Abba still had for him, though. He's
almost
letting
definitely
them know what's gonna happen.
right. Yeah.
What's getting ready to happen,
Yeah.
Moshe.
Right.
He didn't keep anything hidden from Abraham. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? And he's not keeping anything hidden from his servant.
Okay.
Uh,
Yes,
and
indeed.
and and he's gonna be a good soldier and do what his father's told him to do. We got to do the same thing, God.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have to learn from these things and not fall into that. You know, we was talking about, I think before we got on, we were talking about the stress. We're talking about stress and
Hmm.
how stressful situations can put you in. How much stress you can be in a situation like dealing with you know people with autism and just hard ways of people with special circumstances. And we saw that Moshe would go to the Abba and say, are these mine? Why am I responsible for this? Why I have this? Why do I have to be the one to carry this
Hmm.
burden? You
Come.
know, and Moshe kind of let it get to him. He kind of let it get to him, and it caused him to react. And
Hmm.
it was I want to say it was out of his character. It really was, but I think after so long, you just get to a place where you know you can you can succumb to that stress, and if it takes you down, then it takes you down. But it's let's learn from O'Shea. So
Indeed, Doc.
all right, I did went ahead and drop a link to bring Liara into the chat, and let's let Liara come in and give us some final thoughts on her view as she was reading along with us. Shalom, shalom, Coach Liara.
Hey, shalom, shalom, family.
Shalom.
We had final thoughts here, and since you had some insight here, you want to go ahead and give us some final thoughts on the study this evening.
I don't have a lot to say. I mean, Numbers is one of those books that I enjoy reading. And as you all, I caught like the ending part. So
Okay,
as you all were going through chapter 29 and 30, that's when I joined. And just the thoughts that I shared was what I was getting in the midst of the reading.
okay, okay.
So
All
it's just like
praises,
a refresher.
all praises. Yes, indeed. Well, the plan is to finish up Numbers tomorrow, uh, chapter 31 through 36, and we'll get through that. And that'll leave us with the book of Devarim as far as the Torah goes. And from there, we'll get into, of course, Joshua and into the Judges and a lot of the writings, the more historical portions of it. And I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to be in the Torah as we are, but to get into that part of it, I think would be a great aspect as well. So, but we sure do appreciate you joining, and even your contribution in the comments. Now I don't do two screens at once, so when we're reading, I don't see the comments. That's why I didn't get to it until the end. So, but we certainly do appreciate your comments and your insight. And yeah, it was some good. It was some good. Yeah, this was. I'm not saying that some of the previous chapters have not been impactful, but this one, this set of four here, this four chapters was a lot of meat here, a lot of information coming out, and edifying the people who watch. So I'm thankful. My is thankful. Uh, glad to have you as well, and I hope you're thankful as well. And with that, I'm going to sign out by giving all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say Shalom Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together. And we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the
That's
Most High
right.
Power, under one covenant. Until that day, Shalom, family.
Shalom, shalom, family.
Praise God.
Hallelujah.